I'm Claire, and today I am going to talk about handling, getting your bearded dragon to accept handling, and maybe even eventually really enjoy it. So, basically, animals learn in a similar way that we do. Obviously, it's not exactly the same, but what we're doing is we're going to use operant conditioning. So, basically, if an animal receives something that they either like or need to survive or whatever, after completing a behavior, they are more likely to do it again. So, what we want to use is that basic concept of positive reinforcement to get our animals to enjoy being handled. So basically, not to get too sciencey, but what we're going to do is use desensitization and counter conditioning. So what that means is we are going to repeat an action. We're going to keep it tolerable to the animal until the animal enjoys it a little bit more. We're also going to pair each time with a really yummy reinforcement. So whatever your bearded dragon likes, maybe that's worms, maybe that's crickets, maybe that's roaches, maybe that's fruit if you're lucky, maybe vegetables, whatever. And what we're going to do is use their feeding time to train. So what we don't want to do is feed our animals a whole bunch of extra food all the time, especially not the super fatty ones like waxworms and stuff. We want to actually use those moments that they do actually have to eat anyway to throw in some fun training. So last week I worked on clicker training using a clicker and food to get her to enjoy the sound of the click. My dragon loves the sound of the click, so I may use it a little bit today, but keep in mind this actually isn't necessary at all. The purpose of this click is just to let her know when she's done the right thing. You can just try to get that food to her mouth as quickly as possible as well. So hopefully all that made sense. Please, in the comments, let me know if you have any questions. I try to keep it simple, and I'm going to show you how to do this. One last note. If you have a baby, babies are a lot more resilient than older rescue beardies who maybe didn't have a great start to life, maybe missed some socialization. So there are two different ways that you would do it. Actually, babies are pretty resilient behaviorally. So what I want to do with a baby is maybe move a little bit faster than I would with an adult who already has some fear of humans or fear of being touched. So I will make note of that later on. Work at your bearded dragon's pace. There's no need to rush. It is important to move slow with this stuff. So, okay. So here is Miss Tyrion. She is chilling. She's likely not super hungry right now, but I bet she'll eat. This is lunchtime, so she's looking at me. She might know I have worms. Ooh. All right, so what we're gonna do here is I'm gonna start really simple, and if you have a dragon that is really nervous about your hand entering, what you should do is follow this procedure. So we're gonna work really, really, really slowly. So what I'm gonna do here is bring my hand into the enclosure. Right? So that she can see it. Good. Now I'm gonna follow up with a worm. There we go. If your dragon is not actually taking food from your hands or they're being aggressive towards your hand, you will want to use a tweezers. I will show you that towards the end of the end of the video, because the last thing we want to do is stress them out. So I'm going to do that one more time. I'm going to move my hand a little bit closer to her. And now I'm going to follow up with a snack. Yay! Okay, the next portion of this is going to be actually touching her and following up immediately with her favorite thing, which is a worm. Okay, so I'm gonna touch. Oh, she didn't love it, but she saw there was a worm coming. So I'm gonna do that again. I'm gonna use a little roach this time. Quick little bugger. Okay, she wants it, right? But she's gotta tolerate the touch first. And then she gets her roach. I'm gonna do that one more time. Little roaches are tough to catch. Okay, one more time. So hand enters. She wants that roachy, but she's gonna have to tell her being touched first. Oh, you guys, I guess she is hungry. Okay, so that's how that looks. Okay, so if you've got a baby, they are, like I said, more resilient. If your adult rescue is not up to this point, that is totally fine. Work with them on the first 2 steps for as long as necessary until your dragon gets really excited when you open that enclosure. So I'm here with her. She is fine. Her stress lines are not showing at all. But I can make her even happier by feeding her right from my hand. Okay, so the roach wasn't exciting enough. I'm gonna try a waxworm. Okay, so this is actually really, really important. What it means is that she is too stressed to eat because I'm holding her. That means she's not super comfortable with this yet. That's fine. I'm gonna take 1 step backwards in this case, and I'm actually gonna bring her back to her enclosure. And look at that. She says, I'm much more comfortable here, Claire. Okay, that's fine. So we'll work up. We'll keep offering. There she goes. Okay, so I am gonna go back to touching her now and following up with the reinforcement. So here we go. Ooh, she doesn't want to. Okay, I'm gonna stop there. I'm gonna feed her her wormy. Sometimes she doesn't see it. There we go. Good girl. Okay, I'm gonna do that again. Good. And I'm gonna give her her wormy. Oh, so good. All right, she's got a couple more crickets here, or roaches here. So I'm gonna try one more time, just touching her back. She's not running away, so she's handling it. Good girl. She's really digging these dubias. Okay, so I just touched her on her nose. Good girl. And by the way, these are dusted with calcium. Today it is with D3. Tomorrow it will be without. It's really important to give them those supplements that they need. Ready for more, baby? Good. All right. So I'm not gonna try lifting her again to feed. I could, but the point, remember, is not to stress her out. It is to keep this positive and light. So I'm gonna touch her again. Oh, good girl. I kept it a little longer that time. So that's it. That is handling socialization. She did well. As you could tell, today she wasn't super jazzed about being fed outside of her enclosure. That's fine. Again, the point here is to make sure that they are happy and that we're working below her stress threshold. So We want to make sure that this is always a positive experience for her, or we won't make progress. Again, with babies though, you can push it a little bit. Just don't push them to a point where, you know, they're showing off every stress signal and they're trying to bite you. It is important to keep it light, to keep it short. But like with babies, you know, with her, I still take her out of her enclosure a few times a day, probably on average 2 for short, brief periods. And she has a lot of fun. Sometimes we'll go outside and she'll sit and sunbathe on me. Other times I'll just kind of take her out and let her chill on me while I'm working on my computer. But I do keep it brief, and I always offer food. It's important because food is something they really, really enjoy. It's something that they need, and it's a primary reinforcer. That means that that's the quickest way that we are going to change her attitude towards something that maybe she's fearful about. So the last little note that I have is that if you're working with an older rescue dragon who has not had the greatest start in life, or maybe has not been handled a whole lot and is acting aggressively towards you, you can either just continue taking it slow, don't force anything, but continue feeding from maybe a tweezers in this case. Get them used to your presence. So just hang out near the enclosure a lot. That'll get them used to you being there. That's the desensitization factor. And keep trying, keep offering, but don't push them to the point where they're feeling like they've got to show you a big black beard and, bob at you. We want them to stay comfortable and confident, and just take it slow. Be patient. Be very, very patient. If you feel like something's going slow, you might even want to go slower. Sorry, but that's kind of how it works in animal training. Remember, they don't speak English. We can't communicate to them like we would other people. So we've got to just use what is reinforcing to them and use it to encourage them to perform behaviors again. So let me know if you have any questions on this. I'd love to talk about it. Just to let you know, I'm not a veterinary behaviorist. If you have any nutritional questions or any medical questions, I cannot answer them. I am an animal trainer. My background is in working with dogs. So this is new for me. I'm learning right along with you. Hopefully this will be wonderful and we can just learn together. Please leave me any feedback that you have, any questions. Keep it nice, keep it friendly. Give me a big thumbs up. You can subscribe, and I'll see you next week. Next week I do want to work on targeting. So targeting is a behavior where we teach our dragon to touch their nose onto an object. I think we can do it. So it'll be really fun. All right, I will see you next week. Bye.